It is time for Rich Rebel Sports on 98.3 KADQ and MyLocalRadio.com. Rebel Sports brought to you in part by the Rich School District, Evanston Regional Hospital, Ready, Westar Printing and Rocky Mountain Sign, the Come On In, the Station on Main, Les Schwab Plains Tire, Stacy's Repair, Summit Pizza, Little Springs Water, Bear Lake Memorial Hospital, MILFORD Brothers, Hometown Drive-In, the Town of Woodruff, T7 Propane, Bear Lake Realty, Independent Software Solutions, McKay Frankham DDS, and the Crawford Trough. Let's go to the Les Schwab Plains Tire broadcast booth and join the voice of the Rebels, Aaron Poling.
About time for round one, the quarterfinals of the 1A state tournament as the Rebels look to go back to back. I'm Aaron Poland. Thank you for joining us here in the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth. We are stationed high above the floor here at the UCCU Center at Utah Valley University as the Rebels will be playing on floor 3. I'm at the end of the floor. This is the Summit Pizza pregame show. We come back, we'll set the scene for today's matchup. As you're watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KADQ.
When pizza is calling your name, order a Summit Pizza. With homemade dough and all fresh ingredients, every pizza is a culinary masterpiece. Owners Thad and Melissa Willis are Rich High School alumni. They continue the Rebel tradition of excellence and service. Feed your taste buds, feel the happiness with a fresh homemade pizza from Summit Pizza. Don't forget the Doodles, a Summit Pizza original creation. Summit Pizza, 70 West Logan Road, Garden City.
Welcome to the town of Randolph, located in northern Utah. The first group of settlers came from St. Charles, Idaho in March of 1870. We are a town of great extremes, from 90 degrees in the summer to minus 40 degrees in the winter, and we hold the record for the coldest temperature ever recorded in Utah at minus 50 degrees. Randolph is a small, friendly community that strives to preserve our rural heritage and small town feel. Enjoy the feeling each time you visit Randolph. Go Rebels.
If you've never heard a mechanic say they truly care, then you've been at the wrong place. Stacy's Repair in Woodruff is a family-owned and operated business open since 1992. Offering all types of maintenance and repair services, you can be sure your vehicle is operating at its best. Whether your vehicle is older or the newest model, gas or diesel, we fix and maintain them all. Also offering chip repair, windshield replacement, and tires. When your vehicle needs a mechanic, bring it to the ones who truly care. Stacy's Repair in Woodruff.
Welcome back to the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth as it is time for the Little Springs Water scene set on today's Summit Pizza pregame show as the Rebels are warming up. First serve scheduled for about 15 minutes, but that schedule could change as both teams are warming up. They've been through the hit lines. If they are ready to go, they could go early, but we'll be ready to go if they go early. As when we come back, we'll hear from this week's T7 Propane Standout Student of the Week. That is Casey Wilson.
Whether it's for your home, your ranch, your equipment, or your business, when you need propane, count on the best. T7 Propane in Woodruff. The safe and professional team at T7 Propane offers quality product and the most responsive propane service in the area, so you can enjoy the affordability, reliability, and efficiency of propane. For heating, cooking, grilling, motor fuel, and more, count on the team at T7 for your personal or business propane needs. 435-793-4208.
Rich School District has a legendary history of student success in the classroom and in other areas. Over 70% of Rich High students are involved in extracurricular activities. Participation in the classroom, on the field, in the gym, or on the stage helps students reach their potential. Working together with students, the community, and an amazing staff, we have the opportunity to build tomorrow's leaders. Rich School District, focusing on success, one student at a time.
When you need automotive service on your car, truck, semi, or tractor, call Clay and the team at J-Bar Auto in Randolph. J-Bar Auto also offers competitive pricing on tires for all vehicles. Call or stop by J-Bar Auto today.
I'm here with Casey Wilson, senior at Rich High School, and this week's T7 Propane Standout Student of the Week. Casey, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm glad that you're able to join me, as it's kind of been a little bit of a hectic week. I'm sure it's been super hectic for you guys, getting prepared for the state tournament. What's this week's practice been like?
This week's practice, it's been pretty rough. We've been doing a lot of sixes, so we're getting a lot of touches on the ball and just playing hard, and a lot of competition into this week's practice to get us prepared for this weekend.
So when you say sixes, for those for viewers at home or like me who aren't quite sure what sixes are, what do you mean by that?
So it's just like a kind of a normal volleyball game. It's where we have 6 people on each side of the net, and we're just playing back and forth. Every time the ball's up in the air, we're just playing back and forth.
Gotcha. You guys have a lot of experience coming back from last year's state tournament. Obviously, we all know how that ended. But I got to imagine that run last year, it's got to make you feel confident going into this year, correct?
Yes, I'm very confident in my team, and I know that we can pull it off this year too.
Over the last couple weeks, what are some of the things that you guys have done to prepare for the state tournament?
In the last couple of weeks, we played some really tough teams in our last. So we went down to the Richfield tournament, and then we went to Lyman, and those are really tough teams to play against, and that just gets us prepared for those, just playing better teams to make us better and to make us work harder. So that's one thing that we've been doing a lot.
So let's turn to a life a little bit outside of volleyball. What are some of your hobbies? What do you do in your spare time?
I love to be outside, so I've been hunting. I've got a deer tag, so I've been hunting, and I love to just work on.
We apologize to cut the interview with Casey Wilson short, but looks like we're about ready to go. That's kind of the nature of tournament play. We want to thank all of our sponsors in our pregame show. We will get your commercials in. We want to thank Bear Lake Memorial Hospital for sponsoring our coaches show, as I had an interesting conversation with Coach Wasden this week, as the girls are excited as I am for the tournament to start. We want to thank Ellingford Brothers for sponsoring our Keys to Tonight's matchup. And for today's matchup, the keys to today's game is go out and play your game, as the Rebels, if they come out and they just play solid volleyball, they should be able to advance against a Milford Tigers team, as the Rebels are the number 3 seed, Milford the number 14 seed. We also want to thank Little Springs Water for sponsoring our team roster lineups, as we'll get to that in between sets, as we will still show you that the volleyball team video. As the Rebels hit the floor, they are wearing their home blue uniforms, white numerals across the back. The libero, Paige Smith, wearing her white with black and blue trim. The Milford Tigers wearing black uniforms, red Milford across the front, a red numeral, and a big number on the back. Interesting thing about their jerseys, they also have a red paw print down the side. Go over the starting lineup for the Rebels. You out on the floor right now. You have Argyle, Ellsworth, Pugmire, Smith, Taylor, Wilson. For the Tigers, you have Gracie Dotson, Cardisi Vetch, make that. It's hard to see the Milford numbers, but you have Alicia Dalton as well. The libero, McKinley Curtis. Some of the numbers on the roster I got for Milford are incorrect, so my apologies for that. First serve underway, received by Pugmire, and the Rebels set up Taylor on the left wing, as Pugmire actually tips it over, smacked out of bounds by the Tigers. Credit that first kill of the contest to number 40, the lefty, Haiti Pugmire, as the Rebels go on top 1-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. After the kill, Pugmire will serve as Wallentyne checks in for Smith. Received in the back row by the Tigers. They're going to attack it with number 6, Dotson, played over, received by Argyle. Pugmire's going to bump it to the middle of the floor where Wilson takes charge. Reverse bump to the Milford side. They set up an attack near side. That is in, as the first kill of the contest for the Tigers goes to number 15. That's Taylor Spalding, as we're tied 1-1 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Spalding's attack came from the left wing to the right wing. After the kill, Spalding will serve. She'll serve from the middle of the row. played over, received by Argyle, middle of the floor. Rebels set up Taylor, left wing. She attacks with that right hand. That's tipped over, and that's going to fall in as a diving effort by Curtis to no avail as the Rebels go on top 2-1 on the Station on Main scoreboard as Taylor picks up her first kill. We have 3 points in the contest, all of them coming via the kill. Wilson with the serve. As I jinx that serve goes out of bounds across that back line, just a bit too far. 2-2 on the Station on Main scoreboard as Carsity Vetch, the freshman, will serve. Serves it from about 5 feet behind the line, received by Taylor, middle of the floor. They go to Violet, set her up on the left wing. That is going to be another kill as she attacks down the left wing sideline. A diving effort from Vetch to no avail. Rebels go back on top, 3-2 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Argyle checks out. Scott will check in on the front row as Wilson serve. And Tigers have a little bit of trouble with it, but they're able to play it over as Taylor sets it up. They go to Scott left wing as that's blocked back to Smith. Pushed over by Wallentine. They push it back to Smith. Rebels set up again. This time opposite side for Ellsworth. She attacks. That's off the tape to the Milford side. Tigers set up Curtis as she attacks. No avail. They go to Scott left wing. Rebels on the attack. Dug out back row by the Tigers. They set up again. That's blocked to the floor. Credit Janie Wallentine getting her hands on that one, knocking it down. 4-2 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Taylor will serve. Jump serve received back row by Spalding. As they set up on the outside, that's received by Taylor, middle of the back row. Rebels go Scott left wing. She attacks right hand, and that is deflected out of bounds down that left wing sideline as Hannah Scott gets in on the party. Her first kill of the contest, 5 points in. And the Rebels have, by my count, 4 kills already. It's Taylor's serve received in the middle of the back row. They set up on the attack. Taylor digs that out, middle of the back row. Rebels will bump it over with Ellsworth. Curtis will dig it out for the Tigers. They set up middle of the floor. That's poked over by Dalton. Good read by Wilson as the Rebels bump it over with Taylor. Tigers set up their attack. Dump set read well by Scott as Wallentine finishes that one off. Hannah Scott read the dump set, placed it perfectly for Janie Wallentine, who buried that one. I believe that's Janie's first kill of the contest as Taylor will serve. 6-2 on the Station on Main scoreboard as Taylor's serve goes out of bounds across that back line. Serve from the Tigers hits the tape. Dug out by Smith, who just checked into the game. They set up Scott left wing attack. That's too far across that back line. 6-3 on the Station, and make that 6-4 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Serve over from the Tigers, received by Wallentine. They're going to go right back to Janie as she attacks. That one goes out of bounds across the left wing sideline. 6-5 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Attack's a little off here in the last few points after a 4-0 run at 2-2 for the Rebels. The Tigers answer back with a 3-0 run to make it 6-5. Make that a 4-0 run, make it 6-6 as the serve goes off of Smith out of bounds for an ace. Back to the line to serve for the Tigers again. I'm trying to see the number, but that looks like that's Gracie Dotson. Left-handed serve received by the Rebels. They set up Wallentine, middle of the floor. She tips it over. Tigers on the attack. They attempt from the middle of the floor. They find Wilson. Rebels bump it over the net. Tigers push it back. Rebels able to play it over. A little bit sloppy at the front of the net. Rebels able to maintain possession as Taylor's going to push it over with 2 hands from the back row. They're going to call a lift against Violet Taylor, and the Tigers are on top 7-6 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Dotson, the junior, will serve. Received by Scott. Rebels go right back to Hannah on the left wing. She attacks. That's off the front line, out of bounds. Big point for the Rebels, stopping that run as Scott picks up her second kill. 7-7 on the Station on Main scoreboard here in set number 1. Checking in the game for the Tigers, number 4, Alicia Cedillo. Smith to the line to serve for the Rebels. Right-handed jump serve off the back line. Kept alive by the Tigers as they're able to bump it over with the libero, Curtis. Rebels set up the attack. Scott, left wing, deflected. Curtis there underneath it. Here comes an attack from the Tigers. That goes into the net. So there's 2 number 5s on the floor. Unfortunately, we only have 1 number 5 for the Milford Tigers. I will try to find out who that player is in between sets. Rebels go back on top, 8-7, as Smith will serve. Right-handed jump serve. Too far out of bounds across the back line. 8-8 on the station on main scoreboard as the Rebels with their second service error of the contest. Tigers to serve. Ball over, received by the Rebels. They set up Scott left wing. She taps it over the net, and that's going to fall in as Hannah Scott picks up her 3rd kill. This time she tips it. Went with a changeup instead of the fastball. Caught the defense a little asleep there as that falls in front of the back row. 9-8 on the station on main scoreboard as Ellsworth will serve. Curtis with the dig in the middle of the back row. They set up an attack left wing that's too far out of bounds across that back line as they went to Jaden McMullen that time. 10-8 on the station on main scoreboard. I think McMullen thought she got that corner as the Tigers, they were ready to explode in celebration. Instead, the Rebels get the point as a serve from Ellsworth off of Curtis, out of bounds. Rebels pick up the ace as Ava will go back to the line to serve again. 11-8 early on here on the station on main scoreboard. We're still in set number 1. As we're going to get a quick timeout as you're watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KDQ.
Great signage is an important component to any successful business. It lets your customers know they have arrived at your doors, and it's a constant advertisement of who you are. When you install LED signage, you're taking it one step further. The ability to create color messages that move is an attention grabber. Plus, you can change the message whenever you would like. Make your business stand out with an LED sign from Rocky Mountain Sign, providing service, installation, and maintenance on all signage. Rocky Mountain Sign, licensed in Wyoming and Utah. Call today for a quote, 307-789-5202.
Welcome back to the Les Schwab Plain Stars broadcast booth as we got the roster figured out. The libero is actually Florence, as McKinley Curtis wears number 5 as she will serve. 11-9 on the station on main scoreboard. Received by Pugmire, played over by Pugmire. Tigers are going to bump it over. Rebels look to set up the attack as Smith bumps it last second. They go Scott, 10-foot line on the left wing. Received by Curtis. Set up middle of the floor as Ellsworth's able to get underneath it. Dig it out. Played over to the Tigers on one attack. Set up an attack again. That's blocked down to the floor. Haiti Pugmire got her hands on that one. As it's 12-9 on the station on main scoreboard. Hannah Scott will serve. Right-handed jump serve over. Received by the Tigers as Pugmire buries that one. On the return, Haiti puts her hand over her mouth. I think a little chuckle out of that one as she hit the net. As that's the second kill of the game for Pugmire. You add that block in for her too. She's made an impact at the front of the net as that Scott serve received back row. Played over by Florence, the libero. As Ellsworth digs that out middle of the back row. Rebel set up Taylor. She attacks. That's in as she finds the spot between the back center and the back middle. As the Rebels go on top, 14-9 on the station on main scoreboard. Taylor with her third kill of the contest. Scott's serve is going to fall in for an ace as she played that in front of the back line. Diving effort there from Curtis to no avail. As Scott will serve again, this time received by the libero Florence. An attack from the 10-foot line on the left wing, read well by Scott. Rebels set up Taylor, left wing as she attacks, deflected high in the air, back to the Rebels side. And we're going to call a lift against Haiti Pugmire as that ball went underneath the net as she was trying to dig it out, keep it alive. Scott will check out, Argyle will check in. 15-10 on the station on main scoreboard. As Fisher will serve. Received by the Rebels. They set up Pugmire on the opposite side. That's kept alive for the moment by the Tigers. They're going to call a lift, though, or the 4 hits, actually. As when they kept it alive, they hit it twice, tried to set up the bump set spike. No avail as they're called for 4 hits. Pugmire will serve. The lefty lets it go. Received back row by the Tigers. Hit up middle of the floor and attack. Good, read well there by Argyle. She digs for the Milford Tigers. 17-10 on the station on main scoreboard. Give Taylor her 4th kill. As Pugmire will serve again. Received back row by the Tigers into the net. Played into the net, though, as Dotson tried to attack that one with her left hand. 18-10 on the station on main scoreboard, but we're going to get a timeout as the Tigers call their second timeout of the set. You're watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KDQ.
Established in 1872, Woodruff, Utah has a long history of good neighbors helping each other succeed. Woodruff was built with hard work, integrity, and a sense of community that can be felt every time you visit. We have always celebrated all students in academics and extracurricular activities, and we cheer on our Rich Rebels. Woodruff, Utah, a great place to live.
Welcome back to the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth in the middle of the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KDQ. 18-10 on the station on main scoreboard as Haiti Pugmire goes back to the line to serve. Rebels on top here in set 1. First serve over. Received middle of the back row by Curtis. Bumped over by the Tigers as Argyle digs that out middle of the back row. Rebels set up Taylor on the left wing as she pops that one to the opposite corner. Received by Curtis. A setup there that's blocked. What a block that was by Janie Walentine. Unfortunately, in the stat sheet, it won't go down as a block, but she completely erased that that Dotson attempt. The Tigers got one of their arms to it, goes out of bounds. 19-10 on the station on main scoreboard as Pugmire serves again. Received back row by Spalding. Bumped over by Curtis as Ellsworth keeps it alive. They go to Walentine, middle of the floor, and that's going to fall in as Janie Walentine attacked middle of the floor, goes to the left wing side. As don't look now, Janie now has 3 kills and a block to her name in the contest already. 20-10 on the station on main scoreboard as Pugmire will serve. Received back row as an attack is going to be blocked again, this time by Walentine as she receives a nice 2-arm shove right to the chest from Ava Ellsworth as they are fired up. Second block of the contest for Janie. Serve over from Pugmire is received for the moment but knocked sideways off the arms of Spalding into the netting, dividing court number 2 from court number 3. That's out of bounds. Rebels go up 22-10, no ace after the second hit, but Pugmire will serve again. Received by Curtis. Bumped over in the back row by Spalding. Rebels set up their attack. They go Taylor, left wing, punches out with the left hand. That's blocked by the Milford Tigers, as I believe that was Dotson who got her hands to it. As Taylor tried to wind up with that left hand to kind of push it over the front row, as that was read well by the front line of the Tigers. Their serve over, received by Taylor. Rebels set Taylor up left wing at the 10-foot line. She attacks to Spalding, as that's going to fall in on the Tigers' side after the receive. 23-11 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Not sure if Violet got her fingertips to the second attempt, but either way, the Rebels will take it as they're on top. Serve from Wilson, received by Florence. Rebels try to set up Janie Wallentine. Her attack rides the net, stays in on the Rebels side. Will be a Tigers point. 23-12 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Rebels looking to wrap up this first set. And for Rich, it's probably important to try not allow Milford to gain any momentum heading into the second set, as the Rebels have dominated the latter parts of this set. Serve received by the Rebels as Ellsworth pushes it back to Smith, who bumps it over. Tigers on the attack. They set up on the outside for Curtis, and I believe that was blocked again by Wallentine as she tips that one down. 24-12 on the Station on Main scoreboard, as the middle blockers for the Rebels today, both Pugmire and Wallentine, they're off to a pretty good start in the tournament, as Taylor has set point in her hand with the serve, received probably out of bounds by Curtis, but they're going to go right back to her. She attacks. That's deflected into the air by the front line, but it falls in behind them. 24-13 on the Station on Main scoreboard, as Wallentine got her fingers to that one too. Just couldn't quite keep that one alive. But it's kind of been the type of day it's been at the front of the net for the Rebels defense, as they've gotten their hands to quite a bit. Serve received by Scott. They set up Hannah on the left wing. Her attempt blocked back to the Rebels, but Wallentine's going to tip it over. Diving effort from the Tigers to no avail, as the second hit bumps it into the other court. As that will do it for us here in set number one. Rebels take this one 25-13 as you're watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KADQ.
Ready has provided safety and excellence in industrial construction and support services since 1982. From insulation and scaffolding to paintings and coatings, our crews are standing by to assist with new construction, maintenance projects, facility shutdowns, and more. Contact us today to ensure your assets are protected and functional. Interested in joining our team? Visit ReadyUSA.com. We are ready.
The best trips away from home always come when you know you're among friends. This is Coulter Patterson, General Manager at the Come On In Hotel and Suites in Casper, Wyoming. I invite you to stay with us every time you're here. We've got the absolute best staff. Lots of our team members have been working together for years, and we feel like we're a happy family. I guarantee you'll feel that when you come stay with us. We're always glad that you choose the Come On In, and we'll do everything to make your stay comfortable and relaxing. The Come On In Hotel and Suites is the best place to stay because we have the best staff in Casper. Come on in today.
Let's meet the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team.
Hi, I'm Casey Wilson. I am going to be a senior this year, and I will be playing varsity setter.
Hi, my name is Naya Jolly. I'm going to be varsity opposite, which is right side, and I'll be a senior.
I'm Janie Wallentine. I'm going to be a senior, and I will be a middle blocker on varsity.
My name is Hannah Scott. I'm going to be a senior, and I am playing varsity outside hitter.
Good, it's your girl Violet Taylor, aka V Swizzle, and this year I'll be playing varsity outside.
My name is Ava Ellsworth. I play all around right side, and I'm a senior.
Hey, I'm Haiti Pugmire. I'm going to be a senior, and I'm playing middle blocker on varsity.
Hey, I'm Brinley Hatch. I'm going to be a junior this year, and I play middle blocker.
Hi, I'm Cassie Argyle. I'm going to be a junior this year, and I play outside hitter.
Hi, my name is Leah Peterson, and I'm going to be a sophomore, and I'm playing outside hitter.
Bella Wheeler. I'm a sophomore. I'm probably going to play opposite.
Paige Smith, sophomore, outside hitter.
My name is Tyler Pugmire. I'll be a sophomore, and I'm playing middle.
I'm Tess Cornia. I'm a sophomore, and I'm a setter.
I'm Avery Weston. I'm a sophomore, and I play opposite.
I'm Braylon Pugmire. I'm a freshman. I'll be playing outside hitter.
I'm Lacey McKinnon, and I'm a freshman, and I'm going to be middle hitter.
I'm Molly Weston, and I'm a freshman, and I'll be playing outside hitter.
I'm Jalen Lutz. I'm going to be a freshman, and I'm a setter.
My name is Lida Taylor. I'm going to be a freshman, and I want to play middle hitter.
My name is Kelsey Heiner. I'm going to be a freshman, and I'm going to be back left.
I'm Chaisley Levitt, and I'm going to be a freshman, and I think I'm going to play JV, in middle hitter.
Welcome back inside the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth as the Rebels win set number one, 25-13 on the Station on Main scoreboard. We are getting ready for set number two as they're doing some final instructions. Rebels really took control of that game in the middle part as they went on a long run they went on a long run in the middle of that set, and they were able to salt that one away, 25-13, as the Tigers looking to bounce back here in set number two. Let's go over some stats real quick for the Rebels. I mean, you'd think that you win 25-13. They put away quite a bit, quite a few attacks as they earned a lot of those points. You know, Janie Walentine 3 kills, Violet Taylor with 4, Haiti Pugmire has 2, and, that would be Haiti Pugmire, with 2, and Hannah Scott has 3. That doesn't include the 2 blocks for Walentine, the 1 block for Pugmire, as the front of the net for the Rebels. That's something to look out for here throughout the rest of this matchup, as they were very, very dominant in set number 1, as the 6 on the floor for the Rebels, Hannah Scott, Paige Smith, Ava Ellsworth, Casey Wilson, Violet Taylor, Haiti Pugmire across the front, the final 3. The red on black numerals, I'm trying, as it looks like it's Spalding, Florence is going to check in for Fisher. Cedillo on the floor for the Tigers. That's Carson. And Spalding. Those are your 6 to start for the Tigers. Hannah Scott has the ball in her hand, and we are ready to go here in set number 2, and she leads it off with a soft serve just over the net, received by the Tigers on a dive, played over to the Rebels as Taylor will set up tack left wing. That's tipped back to Taylor as she knocks that down with her left hand. Violet Taylor with kill number 5 in the contest. Rebels go up 1-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Scott will serve as she lets that line drive go off the arms in the back row of Curtis. Out of bounds, 2-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard, as that's an ace for Hannah Scott. I believe that's the 4th ace of the contest for the Rebels. Scott with the right-handed jump serve. Went with a changeup that time, just doesn't quite get to the net though, as that falls in to the net. 2-1 on the Station on Main scoreboard after the line drive. Tried to lob it over in front of the back row, which has been very effective so far for the Rebels. They've been able to do that a couple of times. Serve over, received by Pugmire. As Rebels set up Taylor on the left wing, she attacks, that falls in. Violet Taylor with another kill, this time in the middle of the floor. That last serve from McMullen. Into the ball game for the Tigers is number 15, Spalding, as Pugmire serves. Received back row by Curtis as they set up on the left wing side, knocked in by Dotson as she attacked with the left hand. I think the Rebels thought that we were going to go out of bounds. It curved back in. Point goes to the Tigers, 3-2 on the Station on Main scoreboard, 1-0 in sets for the Rebels. Rebels on top in both as Argyle checks in. Scott checks out. Diving received there by Smith, kept alive as Argyle's able to bump it over. Rebels live to fight another play. They set up on the outside as Taylor's able to dig that across court attack from Curtis. Played over by the Rebels, knocked back to the Rebels side by the Tigers. Rebels are going to set up Taylor, left wing. She attacks with that left hand, kept alive for the moment, played over. Rebels will set up the offense again. Middle of the floor to Walentine. She doesn't quite get all of that one. It goes into the net, 3-3 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Tigers will serve with Spalding. I want to give a big shout out to the Milford parents who graciously were able to figure out the roster change from Max Preps and also give me pronunciations. Rebels set up Taylor on the left wing. That goes into the net. 4-3 Tigers on the Station on Main scoreboard. As is kind of similar to how set number 1 started. Rebels got out to a little bit of a lead. Tigers came back, were able to tie it, take the lead for a second, then the Rebels took over from there. See if the Rebels can take back over as Spalding serve received by Smith. Rebels set up Walentine, middle of the floor. She tips that one over. Received by the Tigers. They bump it over. Argyle with the back left corner dig. They set up Taylor. She attacks. Diving effort in the back row, kept alive by Curtis. An attack is going to fall in on the Milford side as the Rebels will pick up the point, 4-4 on the Station on Main scoreboard. From my angle, that ball kind of looked like it landed on the Rebels side, but it did land on the Milford side. Rebels were all celebrating. They also get the serve as it's received in the back row by Florence. A good attack, nicely read by Smith. Kept alive by Ellsworth. An attack from Curtis Finds Argyle back left corner as Taylor will load up with that right hand. Kept alive for the moment by Argyle, but it goes out of bounds over the stand judge. Point to the Tigers. Into the game to serve is Carsity Vetch. Vetch, the freshman, lets it go with the right hand. Ball over, received by Taylor. Rebels set up middle of the floor to Wallentine, and she pushes it over. Vetch with the dig. As the Tigers, they were trying to keep the ball on their side. A couple times so far in the game, it's been set up on a golden platter for a couple of Rebels attackers. They were trying to avoid that. They played it backwards, but when they played it backwards, they played it backwards over the head of everybody. It falls in on the Tigers' side. Rebels pick up the point. It is 5-5 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Serve received by the Tigers. They're going to push it over. Wilson with the dig. Rebels set up Scott left wing. She attacks. That's floated high in the air off the tip at the front of the net. Bumped over by Curtis as Taylor plays it back to the middle of the floor. Scott will attack from the left wing. She lets it go, but we're going to get a lift called against the Rebels. 6-5 on the Station on Main scoreboard as the Rebels are on top. Serve over from Dotson. Received by Smith. Scott's going to tip it with the left hand. Diving effort to no avail from the Tigers. A couple of Tigers got there. 6-6 on the Station on Main scoreboard as Scott tipped that one down the left wing line as Pugmire's going to check in for Wallentine. Smith will serve for the Rebels. A couple of diving efforts for the Tigers, though, got their arms to it, unable to keep it alive. As Smith serve, received back row by Curtis. As they set up a back row attack that finds the hardwood, as that was Spalding from the back left corner. Goes cross court to the right wing. That catches the line as it goes by. 7-6 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Serve over by Curtis, received by Smith. Rebels will reverse bump it over with Wilson. Tigers middle of the back line, dig it out. They set up an attack that's off the front line, out of bounds. As Ellsworth got her hands to it, goes directly to her right into the net. As it is now 8-6 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Tigers on top by 2. Their largest set lead in any set so far today. Serve over, received by Smith. Rebels will bump it over with Wilson again. Tigers set up their attack. They go opposite side. That's blocked back to the middle of the floor. Kept alive by the Tigers. Another attack blocked again by Pugmire. This time the Tigers are unable to return it. They got their arms to it. No technical block for Pugmire. But she really made her presence known there. She got the first attack, got the second attack, and they were unable to return that second attack. Great job there by Pugmire. Once again, the middle blocker for the Rebels. They've been very good in this contest. As another one's deflected high in the air. This time Wilson got her hands to it. Rebels will bump it over with Taylor. Tigers on the attack. Scott reads the dump set well. They go right back to Hannah. She attacks left wing. Kept alive by the Tigers for the moment. An attack is floated over to Violet Taylor. Digs it out middle of the back row. Pugmire will push it over from the middle of the floor. Nicely read there by Cedillo to keep it alive. Pushed back to the Tigers side, but, Tigers push it back to the Rebels side, but with an infraction, as I believe they double hit there. 8-8 on the Station on Main scoreboard as Ellsworth will serve. Lets it go with the right hand, received by Florence. An attack that's blocked again by Pugmire. This time Pugmire tips it at the net. Tigers still have the ball. They bump it over, but they're going to bump it out of bounds as two Tigers run into each other, as that was McMillan and Fisher on that right wing sideline. They bump into each other. Rebels retake the lead, 9-8 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Ellsworth with the serve. Received by Curtis. They're going to go right back to Curtis as she bumps it over from the back row. Taylor digs that out middle of the back line. Set up Scott left wing attack. That is in as she finds this floor between the back left and middle defender. 10-8 on the Station on Main scoreboard as Scott picks up another kill. It's her fourth of the contest as Ellsworth will serve again. Serve over, received by Curtis as they go running into the bench. Kept alive. Good effort there by the freshman McMullen to keep it alive as Pugmire will attack middle of the floor. That's off of Cedillo, out of bounds as Haiti picks up another kill. 11-8 on the Station on Main scoreboard as we are going to get a timeout. And you are watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KADQ.
The Hometown Drive-In has been helping families celebrate and create happy memories at beautiful Bear Lake for generations. With amazing burgers, fries, and other Hometown Drive-In favorites, the food is always delicious and everyone in the family will find something they love. Whenever you're at Bear Lake, make sure you stop. Beautiful blue water and Bear Lake raspberry shakes have been making people smile for generations. Put a smile on your face at the Hometown Drive-In, Bear Lake.
Welcome back to the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth in the middle of the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team. Online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KDQ, 11-8 on the station on main scoreboard. As the Rebels have the serve, Ellsworth will back to the line to serve. Milford took a timeout there at the 11-8 point. Remember, Milford was up 8-6 as the Rebels have gone on a 5-0 run. That serve received by Cedillo, played over by the Tigers as Pugmire bumps that out front row. Scott, left wing attack, that's blocked, kept alive by Smith. Great effort there, but little miscommunication as after Smith kept that ball alive off the block, it goes high into the air, falls in on Rich's side. 11-9 on the station on main scoreboard. As that serve from Fisher goes into the net, 12-9. Rebels on top by 3 as they'll send Scott to the line to serve. Scott's jump serve received by Fisher. They set up on the outside. That's pushed into the net on the left wing side. Looks like they were trying to set up Vetch. 13-9 on the station on main scoreboard. As I read down this roster for Milford, one thing that stands out is the youth on this team. Scott lets that one go. It's a line drive. One of the Tigers in the back row, Curtis, had to get out of the way, but played over by the Tigers. They set up Taylor on the left wing. She attacks. That's a good diving effort there from Florence to keep it alive. Tigers play it back to the Rebels. They set up Taylor. She punches it over with the left hand. That caught the Tigers defense by surprise. 14-9 on the station on main scoreboard as Taylor picks up her 7th kill of the contest. If you're a person who's interested in, I would say, personal accomplishments, Violet Taylor could have a really big tournament. That could put her in a good spot as Scott's serve received by the Tigers. They play it over. Ellsworth bumps it over, plays it middle of the 10-foot line. Set up Taylor. She finds that back row as she picks up her 8th kill of the contest already. But as I was saying about Violet, if you're a big fan of personal awards, you know, she leads all of 1A in attack as Scott will serve. This time it's the changeup. Good hustle from the back row by Curtis to keep it alive. They set up Fisher. Make that Vetch middle of the front row, no good. Received by the Rebels. They set up Pugmire. She attacks middle of the floor. Quick attack from Florence, kept alive as Taylor lets it go with the right hand from the left wing. Why not? Finds the back row, the back line between the middle back defender and the right defender, as that's going to get another timeout. As you are watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well, listening in on 98.3 KDQ.
Welcome to the town of Randolph, located in northern Utah. The first group of settlers came from St. Charles, Idaho in March of 1870. We are a town of great extremes, from 90 degrees in the summer to minus 40 degrees in the winter, and we hold the record for the coldest temperature ever recorded in Utah at minus 50 degrees. Randolph is a small, friendly community that strives to preserve our rural heritage and small town feel. Enjoy the feeling each time you visit Randolph. Go Rebels!
Welcome back to the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth as Scott lets it go. You're watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com. Spalding with an attack goes out of bounds across the left wing sideline. She tried to push that down the near sideline. No avail. 17-9 on the station on main scoreboard. Before the break, I was talking about Violet Taylor and her quest for quest for 1A State Player of the Year. Serve over received by the Tigers. Smith with the dig. Rebels get the ball. They set up Taylor left wing with the right hand. That's blocked out of bounds. Another kill for Violet Taylor. 10 in the contest already. 18-9 on the station on main scoreboard. She has herself a good tournament. I'm going to probably start the Violet Taylor for 1A Player of the Year campaign, as she's already off to a great start. Tigers play it over. Rebels set up the attack. Pugmire from the middle of the floor. She attacks. It's a nice dig back row by Cedillo. They set up an attack as Curtis finds Scott back left wing. Rebels set up Taylor. She buries it down the near sideline. 11 kills unofficially, 19-9 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Rebels looking to salt this one away. They're up 1-0 in sets. Scott lets it go. Received in the back row by Florence. Pugmire tried to tip it over. Good read by Fisher to keep it alive. They set up Pugmire. She attacks off the tape. Kept alive. Diving effort by Curtis. Pushed over by the Tigers. Rebels set up their attack. Taylor left wing with the left hand. This time that's read well by Spalding. They're going to Spalding on the left wing. That's off of Pugmire. Diving effort from Ellsworth to keep it alive. No avail as Spalding has a kill. 19-10 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Tigers will serve as they send McMullen back to serve. Serve over, that's going to be an ace off of the arms of Smith, out of bounds, 19-11 on the Station on Main scoreboard. And for those of you that can't see at home, but I like what Violet Taylor did right there. She went to Smith, just patted her on the back, said, hey, it's going to be all right, as that serve goes out of bounds across the back line. 20-11 on the Station on Main scoreboard. As Paige Smith is one of the, few players that hasn't had a state tournament run yet. I know she got into the state title game last year in a little bit of a blowout set as Pugmire's serve goes into the net. 20-12 on the Station on Main scoreboard. As Smith will check right back in, Pugmire checks out. And Smith, as your libero, she's going to be important to this run, so you want to try to keep her confidence high. Serve from Spalding, received by Argyle. Actually, it's going to be an ace as Argyle played it high in the air. No one else could get to it. 20-13 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Serve again from Spalding. Over, received. We're going to get a stoppage in play as the ball came over from the Tabiona Altamont game, where it looks like the Tigers are about to go up 2-0 over the Longhorns. Longhorns gave them a fight in set one. Set two looks like the Tigers have taken over. The Tigers that the Rebels are playing, the Milford Tigers, serve it over with Spalding. Set up Taylor on the left wing sideline. That hit goes out of bounds across the back line. Apparently she is human. 20-14 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Serve over, received by Smith as they set up Taylor left wing. She's going to push it over. Curtis with the front row dig. They're going to go right back to Curtis. She attacks. That finds Taylor as Wilson tips it over the net. Kept alive for the moment. Tigers unable to play it over in 3 hits. Point will go to the Tigers. Good job there by Wilson just to do a quick tip. Catch the Tigers defense off guard a bit. As a little fun here is checking into the ballgame. Number 4, Nia Jolly. She'll replace Ava Ellsworth at the front of the net. Wilson serve received back row by the Tigers. An attack from Dotson's going to fall in as that goes from the opposite corner to the right wing sideline. 21-15 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Serve from Vetch over, received by Smith. Rebels set up Taylor on the left wing. She bumps it over. Curtis with the dig. They go opposite side for Dotson. Read well by Smith. Dig out middle of the back row as Taylor will attack. That is down to the floor as Violet Taylor picks up another kill. That's number 12 as that goes behind the front line in front of the back line as she found that spot between all 6 defenders as Taylor will serve. 22-15 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Serve over. Received. No, actually that's going to go down as an ace for Violet Taylor to go along with her 12 kills. As Taylor serves. Received by the Tigers. Played over. Diving up from Smith. Kept alive as Scott attacks. That goes into the net. 23-16 on the Station on Main scoreboard as the Rebels looking to salt this one away. 2 points away from a second set victory over the Tigers. Received by Taylor. Set up Scott left wing as she attacks. Kept alive in the back row by Dotson. Played over to the Rebels side. Dug out by Wilson. as a set pass from Jolly goes over the net, played back by the Tigers. Scott will attack. That's deflected, kept alive in the back right corner. They set up Curtis. Her attack read well by the Rebels defense as Walentine's going to bump it over. Good job there to adjust to the attack. Set up Curtis again as she attacks down the sideline, as that is going to be out of bounds off of the Rebels. 23-17 on the Station on Main scoreboard. As Dotson will serve. The floor officials talking it over with the scorer's table. As the serve from Dotson is going to go into the Rebels cheer squad. That's standing across from their bench. 24-17 on the Station on Main scoreboard. As Wilson has set point in her hand. Walentine checks out. Smith will check in. Wilson lets the serve over. Received by Fisher. Tipped down to the floor by Pugmire, and that is how set number 2 ends with a Haiti Pugmire block. It's hard to tell if that's a block or a kill. Either way, it doesn't matter to the Rebels as Pugmire finishes off set number 2. Rebels win 25-17 on the Station on Main scoreboard as you are watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KDQ. We'll have the third set right after this.
Rich School District has a legendary history of student success in the class and other areas. Over 70% of Rich High students are involved in extracurricular activities. Participation in the classroom, on the field, in the gym, or on the stage helps students reach their potential. Working together with students, the community, and an amazing staff, we have the opportunity to build tomorrow's leaders. Rich School District, focusing on success, one student at a time.
The Hometown Drive-In has been helping families celebrate and create happy memories at beautiful Bear Lake for generations. With amazing burgers, fries, and other hometown drive-in favorites, the food is always delicious and everyone in the family will find something they love. Whenever you're at Bear Lake, make sure you stop. Beautiful blue water and Bear Lake raspberry shakes have been making people smile for generations. Put a smile on your face at the Hometown Drive-In, Bear Lake.
When you have an emergency, choose Bear Lake Memorial Hospital. Open 24/7, the professional emergency room staff is trained for trauma, medical, cardiac, pediatric, orthopedic, and obstetric emergencies. Bear Lake Memorial is a critical access level 3 trauma center, offering immediate access to radiology, lab services, surgery, and internal medicine consults. The ER teams are well-trained professionals who are ready to act. When you have an emergency, Bear Lake Memorial Hospital, the most caring hospital on earth.
The team at T7 Propane in Woodruff is always cheering for the Rich Rebels, in sports, in the classroom, and in life. For quality professional propane service, call T7 Propane in Woodruff, 435-793-4208. When you're hungry for an amazing breakfast, just like Grandma used to make, visit our bakery on Main Street in Randolph. We hand make fresh pastries for you to enjoy. Supporting the Rich Rebels and thanking you for your business, visit our bakery today.
Welcome back to the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth in the middle of 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com. Rebels on top, 2-0 as we enter the third set. And this is the state tournament, obviously. So you got to imagine the Tigers are going to throw everything they can at the wall to try to keep their state championship hopes alive. So if you're the Rebels, I think a game last year that they can learn from is the semifinals against Tabiona, where they went up 2-0. And you have that team coming out with their backs against the wall, season on the line. They're going to come out with a little bit of fire. So the Rebels are going to try to put away the Tigers in set number 3, as the Tigers will serve first, as it will be Nick Mullen. And you kind of want to get rid, I don't want to say get rid of, as you know, but you want to dispatch a team as quickly as you can, obviously, in tournament play. If the Rebels want to get to where they want to get, they're going to have to play 4 games in 2 days. So if you can have a sweep here in in game 1, that makes your job a little bit easier. But, man, when you get to that third set and a team's season's on the line, you have to be ready because they're going to come out swinging, firing everything they have. Any any certain plays that they have that, you know, they haven't used all year. They're probably going to use them now. As they go over the 6 on the floor for the Tigers. The 6 on the floor for the Rebels across the back line will be Argyle, Smith, Ellsworth. Across the front line, Taylor, Pugmire, Wilson. As McMullen's serve is in the air, we are underway, received by Smith. Rebels set up Pugmire on the opposite side. Her left-handed attack blocked. Played back over to the Rebels side, though, as they'll set up Taylor on the left wing. She lets it go with the right hand as Smith keeps it alive. Back to Taylor. She pushes it over the front row. Dug out back row by Florence. Played over to Ellsworth as that one catches her up high, trying to dig that out. A little frustrated with herself as that goes to the floor, 1-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. McMullen will serve again. Received by Smith as Wilson sets up Taylor left wing. She attacks. Diving effort from Florence keeps it alive. Tigers push it over. Good effort by Smith running to her back to dig that out middle of the back row. Taylor will bump it over from her left wing spot. As they set up McMullen on the attack. Kept alive by Argyle. Good hustle by Smith to keep it in the air as Ellsworth plays it over. Rebels defense makes a great play there. Another attack from the Tigers that's blocked into the net. They're going to call a deflection on, or they're going to call 4 hits, as the attack went into the net. Would have been a double hit either way. Unless the Rebels blocked it, but they did not block it. As Pugmire will serve, we're tied 1-1 here in set number 3. Lets it go, received by Florence. It's a great job keeping it alive by the Tigers running into their bench. Rebels set up the attack. Wallenstein tips it over. That falls in as Janie Wallenstein wound up like she was going to let the fastball go. Tips it over with the changeup. 2-1 on the Station on Main scoreboard. As Pugmire will serve again. Low line drive of a serve, received in the back row by Curtis. Florence will bump it over from the middle of the back row. Rebels will set up their attack. They go Taylor left wing as she lets it go. That is blocked to the floor on the Rebels side. Good play defensively by, I believe, Spalding got that one. 2-2 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Spalding with the block. As she will serve as well. Received by Argyle. Rebels set up Taylor left wing. She tips that down the near sideline. Good read by Curtis to keep that alive. A couple of Tigers run into each other, but they're able to bump it over. Rebels set up the attack. Taylor with the left hand. That's blocked in on the Rebels side. As that time, I think that was Fisher who got to that one. Make that actually Vetch. 3-2 on the Station on Main scoreboard as Vetch, the freshman, makes a big play there. This is kind of what we're talking about, though. But this is how both the sets have started so far, back and forth, before the Rebels were able to take over. But you got to imagine Milford's not looking to go down easily as Wallenstein's tip attempt from the middle of the floor out of bounds across the left wing sideline. 4-2 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Tigers will serve with Spalding. Right-handed jump serve received by Argyle. Rebels with a miscommunication there, unable to return it. 5-2 on the Station on Main scoreboard. As Spalding will serve again. 3 points is the biggest lead for the Tigers here in the match. Rebels on top, 2-0. Spalding serve received by Smith. Rebels set up the attack to Wallenstein, middle of the floor. She pushes it over. Read well there by Spalding. Attack on the opposite side by Dotson is blocked out of bounds. As we're going to get a timeout called by the Rebels as you're watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KDQ.
Buying or selling real estate can be fun, especially when you have a realtor that's working hard on your behalf. Gary McKee and the team at Bear Lake Realty have unparalleled industry knowledge, experience, and local expertise. The team at Bear Lake Realty will work to get you the best price. Whatever you're looking for, buying or selling, residential, commercial, year-round living, half shares, quarter shares, or income property, hire the best real estate company, Bear Lake Realty. Log on today, bearlakerealty.com.
Welcome back to the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth, as it is time for the Gare Bear Fan Cam. For all your for all your realty needs in Bear Lake, call Bear Lake Realty or visit them online at bearlakerealty.com, BEARLAKEREALITY, bearlakerealty.com. 6-2 Tigers here in set number 3 as Spalding serve off of Argyle. Played back to the middle of the floor where Wilson sets it up. Tigers looking to set up their attack. They do. Middle of the floor, out of bounds across the back line. Tigers are trying to say that the Rebels touched it. No avail. With the way that the Tigers celebrated, they had to have thought that was touched. Nia Jolly's not on the floor, so if it wasn't Nia, it might not be reported. If you think back to last year's state title game, Nia reported herself and out of bounds. Rebel serve received by the Tigers, bumped over by Taylor. Or they're going to call into the net against the Rebels. 7-3 on the Station on Main scoreboard. But the ball landed about 5 feet out of bounds across the back line on that last attack. And the Tigers were already into their celebration, so that tells me they really thought it was tipped. If it was, Rebels catch a break as that serve goes off the back row, out of bounds. 8-3 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Told you, get a team with their backs against the wall. They're going to come out swinging as Vetch picked up the ace, will serve again. Ball over, received by Argyle as Wilson with a diving effort to keep it alive, no avail. 9-3 on the Station on Main scoreboard as Rebels have to get something going here as Scott's going to check in for Argyle. Vetch will serve. Received by Smith. Rebels will set up Scott. Attack from the middle of the back row. Diving effort to keep it alive from the Tigers. They'll attack from the back row. Smith digs that out, middle of the Rebels back row as Scott's going to attack from the back line. 10-foot line that goes out of bounds. 10-3 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Tigers on top by 7 here in set number 2. Rebels have to focus here, as it's not going to be easy to eliminate a team. Serve over, received by Smith into the net. 11-3 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Pugmire is going to check in for Smith. Vetch will serve again. Received by Scott. Rebels set up Taylor on the left wing. She tips it over. Good read in the back row by Cedillo, kept alive. As a lift is called against the Tigers, and the Rebels needed that in the worst way. 11-4 on the Station on Main scoreboard as Taylor will serve. Dotson checks back in for the Tigers. Taylor's serve received in the back row by Spalding. An attack goes into the net. Rebels will pick up the point. 11-5 on the Station on Main scoreboard. And you know, if you're going to trail in a set, now's not a bad time to do it. They don't give you style points for sweeping everybody. But being comfortable well behind is going to help the Rebels later on in the tournament. An attack dug out by Wilson. Rebels set up Scott. That's blocked at the front of the net. Rebels get the ball back as Scott's going to attack again. That's deflected, kept alive back row by Florence. An attack blocked by Wallenstein. Comes back to the Rebels side as Wilson sets up Scott on the left wing, and she tips it high over the net. That's kept alive by the Tigers off of the net. Rebels will set up Scott again, and she lets this one go. Kept alive, not this time though, as the Tigers had a couple different opportunities where the ball, they hit it into the net, were able to save it. They couldn't save it that time. 11-6 on the Station on Main scoreboard as Taylor will serve. Serve over, received by the Tigers, middle of the back row. Pushed over by Dotson. Whistle blows, and I believe we're going to get a lifting violation against Dotson on the attack. 11-7 on the Station on Main scoreboard as Taylor will serve. Received back row by Florence as they set up the attack. Dug out by Pugmire as Scott will attack from the left wing. She tips it high over the net. Received back row as they set up Florence on the near sideline. She tries to go down the left wing sideline. No avail. 11-8 on the Station on Main scoreboard as that ball went out of bounds across the right wing sideline as Taylor will serve. Received in the back row by Spalding. Bumped over by the Tigers as Taylor gets the dig, middle of the back row. They set up Scott left wing. Pushes it down that sideline. Kept alive by a leaping effort from Nick Mullen. Tigers play it back to the Rebels who go to Wallenstein. She tips it high in the air. Kept alive as Wallenstein gets another attack. This time it goes into the net. 12-8 on the station on main scoreboard as that ends a run for the Rebels where they picked up 5 points. They trailed. Make that 4. They trailed 11-4. Dotson serve received by Pugmire. Rebels set up Scott on the left wing. She lets it go with the right hand. Kept alive, back row by Spalding. Set up for Curtis. So that's tipped high in the air. Scott with a diving effort. Unfortunately, it goes into the net on the near sideline. 13-8 on the station on main scoreboard. Rebels trail by 5 as Dotson will serve again. Serve over. Received by Pugmire. So Wilson plays it over. Tigers on the attack. Set up middle of the floor to Fisher as Pugmire with a nice dig there. Goes Scott, left wing. Pushes that down the sideline. Good read by Dotson, kept alive. Will be pushed over from the back row by Spalding. Rebels set up their attack. They go, the set was on the net. Tigers play it back to the Rebels. A Scott will attack. That's out of bounds across the back line. 14-8 on the station on main scoreboard as the Tigers go back up by 6. Served by Dotson. Was going to go low, so McMullen reached up and tipped it. As Smith will check in for Wallenstein. She will serve. Right-handed jump serve over, and that is off of Curtis, out of bounds as Smith picks up the ace. 14-10 on the station on main scoreboard. Smith will serve again, received by Curtis. Back to the Rebel side. Pugmire with the attack, kept alive by Fisher. Played back to the middle of the floor where the Tigers bump it over. Rebels set up their attack. They go Scott, left wing, as she lets it go. That's kept alive for the moment by the Tigers. Back to the Rebels side as they go Pugmire. She attacks off the player, I believe Spalding, out of bounds as Pugmire picks up the kill. Her 5th of the contest. 14-11 on the station on main scoreboard as Smith will serve again. Serve over, received by Florence. Played over by Spalding. Taylor digs that out, middle of the back floor. Rebels set up opposite side to Ellsworth. It's a good read there by Cedillo. She digs it out for the Tigers. Ball played over is going to be out of bounds across that right wing sideline. Rebels pick up the point. 14-12 on the station on main scoreboard as Smith will serve. Right-handed jump serve over, received back row by Spalding. Set up Curtis, who's going to bump it over as Taylor goes running to the back corner to keep it alive. Whistle blew, and I think that caught Smith off guard. She was underneath it. The whistle blew, and she kind of gave up on the play. 15-12 on the station on main scoreboard as that ball falls in. Tigers will pick up the point. Just kind of the interesting thing that you have to navigate at a tournament like this where there are 4 floors going at the same time as Scott's going to bump it over from the left wing. Pushed back over by the Tigers as the Rebels will attack with Smith from the 10-foot line. Dug out by Curtis, middle of the floor to Fisher. That's blocked by Pugmire. Kept back on the Tigers' side. That ball on the attack from Spalding. It rode up the net, went over the net, and fell in for the Tigers. Tough break for the Rebels. They trail by 4. They've made it a lot closer than it was. Looking to finish this one off here in set 3. They're going to have to mount a comeback. Received by Scott. They go right back to Hannah on the left wing. She attacks. Diving effort from Cedillo keeps it alive. Attack to the back row for Taylor. Rebels go Scott left wing. She attacks with the right hand. That's down as Hannah Scott picks up the kill. 16-13 on the station on main scoreboard. As Scott attacks from the left wing to the middle of the floor, it falls in. As Ellsworth will serve. Received by Florence. Serve over, attack off of Smith. Taylor goes diving into the bench area. No avail. 17-13 on the station on main scoreboard. Set up Ambrose to serve. Right-handed jump serve over, received by Taylor. Rebels set up Scott on the left wing as she tips it over the net. That's going to go around the antenna. 18-13 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Serve over, received by Taylor. Rebels set up Pugmire on the outside. She lets it go with the left hand. That's received by Ambrose. An attack finds Smith back left corner. They go back to Pugmire on the outside. She attacks. That's going to fall in as Haiti Pugmire picks up the kill. That's her 5th of the contest. 18-14 on the Station on Main scoreboard as Scott will serve. Right-handed jump serve over, and that's going to be an ace for Hannah Scott as Curtis couldn't play that one. A high rainbowing serve there from Scott. Leads to an ace. She'll get the ball back. Another right-handed jump serve. This time it's more of a line drive at Curtis. She plays that one. Middle of the floor attack off of Smith, out of bounds. As I believe Fisher, or make that Vetch, will pick up that kill. 19-15 on the Station on Main scoreboard as Argyle's going to check in for Scott. McMullen will serve. Received by Smith, middle of the floor. Rebels set up Taylor on the left wing as she attacks with the right hand. Diving effort kept alive by Spalding. An attack deflected high in the air, kept alive for the moment as it's played over. What a job by the Rebels to keep that alive. Couple diving efforts. Tigers play it back to the Rebels side as Ellsworth with the dig. Taylor's going to bump it over as the Rebels look to fight for another play. An attack from Dotson goes out of bounds across the back line, and that defensive effort pays off for the Rebels. You got to give a lot of credit to this Milford team. They haven't had too many errors on the attack. They've kept the ball in play, and they've forced the Rebels to play it. They've done a good job doing that, especially here in set number 3 where they lead 19-16. Set up another attack to Dotson. As I do that, I get the announcer's jinx. 19-17 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Tigers are calling for a tip, will not get one. Pugmire with the serve. That's off the front line player Vetch, and that's going to fall in for an ace as Haiti Pugmire with the ace brings the Rebels within 1. And the Tigers are going to want to talk about this one as you're watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KADQ.
Whether you're recovering from an injury, just had surgery, or you're dealing with a chronic condition, Evanston Regional Hospital Physical Therapy will help you every step of the way to reach your goals and get back to doing what you love. In addition to the top-of-the-line facilities, we are the only physical therapy clinic in Southwest Wyoming with a full-size therapy pool and spa for aquatic-based treatment. Call today to schedule an appointment. Evanston Regional Hospital, helping you get your life back.
Welcome back to the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth in the middle of the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com. 19-18 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Tigers on top by 1 here in set number 1, but Rebels are on top 2-0. As Rebels looking to crawl back into this one as they've trailed by as many as 8 here in set number 3. Timeout's over. Haiti Pugmire with the serve, received by Florence. Tigers look to set up their attack. That goes into the net, and we are tied with a quick race to 6 here in set number 3. Great job by the Rebels to crawl back into this one after probably not having the start to the set they wanted. But they've crawled all the way back into this one, 19-19 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Pugmire with the serve, Spalding with the dig. It'll be bumped over by Curtis. Argyle digs that out middle of the floor. Rebels set up Taylor, left wing, attack with the right hand, and the Rebels are on top by 1 as Violet Taylor picks up her 13th kill of the contest. No bigger time than now for that kill as she went down the left wing sideline. Pugmire will serve again. Serve over, received by Spalding. Her attack goes off of Ellsworth, out of bounds. 20-20 on the Station on Main scoreboard as the Tigers will serve. Spalding will do the honors. It's Pugmire out. Wallenstein in. Serve over, received by Argyle. It's going to be an ace. serve defense for the Rebels has really killed them here in set number 3 as Scott's going to replace Argyle. Spalding will serve. Received by Scott. Rebels set up Taylor, who's going to bump it over from the left wing. Tigers on the attack. They go middle of the floor. It's tipped, deflected by Wallentine. Rebels get to it as Wallentine's going to bump it over from the middle of the floor. Florence is there to dig that out, back left corner. Tigers are able to play it over. Ellsworth with the dig. Rebels set up the attack. They go Taylor, left wing, right hand. That is blocked out of bounds as Violet Taylor picks up another kill. Rebels go on top. Rebels tie it up 21-21 as that is kill number 14 for Taylor. Wilson to serve. Ball over, received by Florence. Set up Curtis. She finds Smith middle of the back row as Taylor will attack from the left wing. Kept alive by Curtis. They go right back to her on the left wing as she attacks. Kept alive by Smith as Wilson tried to flick it over from the 10-foot line. I think she may have caught that one on the way through and was worried about the third hit. As Tigers will sub in Fisher as she replaces Ambrose. Played over, received by Smith. Rebels will bump it over with Wallentine at the 10-foot line. Tigers on the attack. They go opposite side to Dotson. Smith with a nice read there. Rebels go to Taylor. She's going to bump it over. Tigers are able to play it over. It should have been an easy attack for them. They can't do that. Instead, the Rebels will set up as Taylor attacks. Kept alive, diving effort as Curtis will bump it out of bounds. Rebels will pick up the point as the Rebels kind of on a throwaway play to the Tigers. Tigers were unable to really capitalize on it. Rebels are able to take advantage. They pick up the point. As Taylor will serve, received back row by Curtis. An attack finds Smith in the back left corner. Rebels set up Scott on the left wing as she lets it go, deflected high in the air. High enough for the Tigers to get underneath it as Dotson will attack. She finds Wilson back right corner. Rebels go to Scott as she pushes it down that left wing, and that is in as Hannah Scott with the big kill there. 23-12 on the Station on Main scoreboard as Scott picks up her 6th. As that's going to draw a timeout from the Tigers as we're going to keep it right here. You're watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com. Rebels lead this one 23-12 here in set, or 23-22 in set number 3. But they also lead 2-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Another example of what I'm talking about is the game right in front of me on floor 4, Monticello versus Wayne. Monticello is up 2-0. Wayne is up 16-9 here in set number 3. When you get a team with their backs against the wall, they're gonna come out scrapping and clawing, especially when you get into the lower seeds, the closer seeded games. Those teams are going to be a little more evenly matched, and they're going to come out firing in that third set. Rebels looking to take care of this one here in 3 sets. They lead 23-22 as Taylor will serve. Taylor with the right-handed jump serve. That is received in the back row by Spalding. They set up Curtis, middle of the floor. That's deflected and going to fall in on the Rebels side as Ellsworth got her fingertips to it and went directly sideways to the right, out of bounds. 23-23 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Dotson will serve as that is off the net, falls in, 24-23. Dotson will serve again, but not before we get another timeout as you're watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KDQ. We're going to keep it right here as it's 24-23, Tigers on top, looking to keep their season alive. Rebels looking to extend the set as they trail by 1. I would imagine if they can, they're going to want to end it right here. Don't want to go to a 4th set because you really never know, especially when you get to that 4th set, that 5th set race to 15 looming. Don't want to be in that situation. I was looking to take care of business here early on. Dotson will serve. She has set point for the Tigers in her hand. Served, received by Smith. Rebels set up Scott on the left wing. She attacks right hand. That is out of bounds, and we're going to set number 4. 25-23 on the Station on Main scoreboard. You're watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KADQ.
We're off to the rodeo. My Local Rodeo is proud to bring you live streaming icebreaker of the National High School Rodeo Association's Western Legacy Series in 2023 and 2024. If you're interested in becoming a broadcast sponsor and advertising your business to the most loyal group of viewers in the country, you won't find a better opportunity. Call us today to claim your spot, 307-789-8116. That's 307-789-8116. We're off to the rodeo.
Ready is committed to providing superior services to our customers by requiring individual accountability for excellence in quality, safety, and dependability. We are a growing company that is currently hiring across Wyoming, Colorado, Texas, Nevada, Idaho, and elsewhere. Our valued team members receive competitive wages, full benefits, and weekly pay. Interested in joining our team? Visit ReadyUSA.com. We are ready.
The best trips away from home always come when you know you're among friends. This is Coulter Patterson, General Manager at the Come On In Hotel and Suites in Casper, Wyoming. I invite you to stay with us every time you're here. We've got the absolute best staff. Lots of our team members have been working together for years, and we feel like we're a happy family. I guarantee you'll feel that when you come stay with us. We're always glad that you choose the Come On In, and we'll do everything to make your stay comfortable and relaxing. The Come On In Hotel and Suites is the best place to stay because we have the best staff in Casper. Come on in today.
When participating in sports, there's always a lot to talk about performing at the top of your game. I'd like to expand on that and ask, how about performing at the top of your game in every part of your life? This is Dr. Todd Hoover with Hoover Chiropractic. I offer solutions to help improve all aspects of your game called life. Pain management, migraines, allergies, emotional release, nutritional supplements based on blood tests, and improved athletic performance. To help you perform at the top of your game every day, call today to schedule an appointment in Evanston or in Kemmer. Hoover Chiropractic, 307-789-0043.
Success doesn't come by accident. Success requires hard work, perseverance, learning, sacrifice, and believing in yourself. Eddie and Todd Jensen established the Mound Valley Cattle Company in Thatcher, Idaho on these very principles. The students, staff, athletes, and coaches at Rich High School value these same fundamentals in education and activities, in athletics, and in life. Good luck, Rebels, from Mound Valley Cattle Company, serving customers in Utah, Idaho, and Wyoming since 1997.
Welcome back to the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth in the middle of the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KADQ as we are heading to set number 4. Rebels dropped the last set 25-23. As they can't really do anything about it now. All you can do is reset and try to take care of it in 4. Don't want to go to set number 5, especially against an underdog team that's really young and, you know, I don't want to say not playing with anything to lose, but, you know, their backs are against the wall. What do they have to lose? They're down 2-0. As Wallenstein will check out, Smith will check in. Scott's going to serve to start the 4th set. You just don't want to go to set 5 if you don't have to, especially as the leading team. Rebels have been down that road before. I'm sure they want to avoid it. As Scott has the ball. As the Buckaroos have been able to come back against Wayne. Looks like they're going to take care of that one. Scott with the serve, and that's going to fall in for the first point of the set. Rebels go on top 1-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. And Scott awaits the ball. Rebels with the right-handed jump serve over, received by Milford. Played over as the Rebels set up Taylor on the left wing. She attacks. Good effort in the back row by Cedillo as it's tipped down. Another diving effort by the Tigers, kept alive. Whistle blows. But I guess on one of the efforts, a violation was called. 2-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard as they call it 2 hits against the Tigers. Scott's right-handed jump serve is a lob. Diving up from Curtis. Played back to the Rebel side as it's dug out by Smith as Taylor's going to attack. That's blocked down to the Rebel side. Good defensive play there from Vetch at the front of the line. 2-1 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Argyle checks in. Scott will check out. Serve over, received by Smith as that's going to go out of bounds off the antenna. 2-2 on the Station on Main scoreboard. McMullen will serve again after the ace. Received by Taylor. Rebels go to Pugmire on the opposite side. She attacks off of McMullen high in the air. Tigers will bump it over. Rebels set up their attack. They go to Taylor, left wing, right hand, lets it go. That is blocked back to the Rebels side. They trail 3-2 here in set number 4 on the Station on Main scoreboard. As McMullen will serve again. Serve over, received by Pugmire. Rebels set up Taylor on the left wing. She'll bump it over. Read well by the Tigers as that's blocked back down on the attack by Pugmire. She reached up, got her hands on that one. Pinballs off a couple of Tigers players, but will fall in for the Rebels point as Pugmire will serve. Wallenstein in, Smith out. Serve over is an ace as Haiti Pugmire with a little bit of a curveball there finds that back left corner right in front of the flag judge. 4-3 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Pugmire will serve again. This time over. A little more straight. Received by the Tigers. They're going to bump it over. That's going to go out of bounds across the back line. 5-3 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Rebels on top with Pugmire to serve again. Serve over. Received by Florence. Pushed into the net. It's going to fall in as the Tigers pushed it into the net. Rolls up the net, over the net, falls in front of the Rebels' front line. Tough break there for the Rebels' defense. Have to shake it off, though. 5-4 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Serve over, received by Smith. Rebels will set up Taylor on the left wing, who's going to have to just bump it over. Played by the Tigers. Set up middle of the floor for Vatch. That's a good read there by Smith, kept alive as Taylor will attack left hand. Diving effort to keep it alive. No avail, but I think we're going to get into the net called against the Tigers, though. 6-4 on the Station on Main scoreboard as Wilson will serve. Serve over, received by Curtis. As they set up Curtis on the left wing, she taps it over the front line in front of the back line for the point. 6-5 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Send Vetch to the line to serve as Ambrose will check out. Right-handed serve over, received by Smith, goes back to the Tigers side as they'll set up the attack. It's played back to the Rebels, actually, as they'll set up Taylor on the left wing. She attacks. A lift called against the Rebels, and we're tied at 6. Vetch will serve. Smith will receive as Wallenstein sets it over. Tigers on the attack. They find Argyle back left corner as Taylor's going to attack from the left wing. Nice effort there for McMullen to keep it alive. Bumped back over by Curtis. Rebels will set up their attack. They go to the left wing. Taylor right hand unloads. That's down the near sideline for a kill for Violet Taylor, her 15th of the contest. As after the kill, she'll set up to serve. Scott in, Argyle out. Taylor with the jump serve, received by Curtis. Back to the Rebels side as they'll set up their attack. Middle of the floor to Wallenstein as she tips it down the sideline. What a crafty play that was from Janie Wallenstein. As there was about a foot of room between the left wing sideline and the front of the net that Janie Wallenstein was able to place that ball into. Taylor serve received by Spalding. They're going to go right back to Spalding. 10-foot line attack finds Taylor middle of the back row as Scott will set up on the left wing, tips it over. McMullen with the dig. They push it all the way across for Curtis, but a double hit is called. 9-6 on the Station on Main scoreboard as Taylor will serve. Serve over, received by Spalding. They set up Curtis on the left wing as she tips that into the antenna. 10-6 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Rebels up by 4 here in set number 4. And that's going to draw a timeout as you're listening to the 2023 Your Troubles Varsity Volleyball Team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KDQ.
The Hometown Drive-In has been helping families celebrate and create happy memories at beautiful Bear Lake for generations. With amazing burgers, fries, and other hometown drive-in favorites, the food is always delicious and everyone in the family will find something they love. Whenever you're at Bear Lake, make sure you stop. Beautiful Blue Water and Bear Lake Raspberry Shakes have been making people smile for generations. Put a smile on your face at the Hometown Drive-In, Bear Lake.
Welcome back to the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth in the middle of the 2023 Your Troubles Varsity Volleyball Team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KDQ. Rebels on top, 10-6 here in the set, on top 2-1. As they're looking to advance. Winner of this game will play Monticello as the Buckaroos ended up coming back, taking care of Wayne. As Taylor will serve, received back row by Spalding. As they set up on the right wing, attack from Curtis, blocked in the air by the Rebels, kept alive as Scott pushes it down the left wing sideline. That's going to fall in after a couple of diving attempts. One from Florence as Curtis also went running back towards the bleachers behind the floor. 11-6 on the Station on Main scoreboard as Taylor will serve. Ball over off of Spalding. Played back to the middle of the floor where Florence will push it over. Smith with the dig. Rebels set up Scott left wing. She attacks right hand. That's deflected to the floor as the Rebels pick up the point. Hannah Scott picks up the kill. Her 7th. 12-6 on the Station on Main scoreboard as Taylor will serve again. Serve over. Received middle of the floor by Spalding. Florence keeps it alive as Spalding's going to reverse bump it over to the Rebels. They can set up their attack. They go Scott left wing, unloads with the right hand, deflected high in the air, out of bounds, but deflected off that front line. 13-6 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Kill number 8 for Scott. As that ball took a caromed off of the bleachers. Out of play as Taylor will serve, received by Spalding. They go middle of the floor for Fisher. That's blocked, kept alive. Played off the net for the Rebels as they're going to be able to bump it over. Good job by the Rebels to keep the play alive. Tigers will attack with Fisher middle of the floor. That finds Taylor back row. Rebels will set up their attack opposite side for Ellsworth. Two-hand shove over. McMullen digs that out as an attack from the back row from Spalding finds Taylor middle of the back. As Scott will attack off of Spalding. That's going to go out of bounds across the net onto the Rebels side. Across that right wing sideline, 14-6 on the Station on Main scoreboard as Taylor will serve. Another serve from Violet Taylor, received by Curtis. They go right to the middle of the floor for Fisher as Wilson reads that well. Digs that out middle of the floor. Scott will attack left wing, deflected, kept alive by Florence. As the Tigers will push it over, Spalding. Taylor with a nice dig. They set up Scott left wing. That's blocked. Kept alive by Wallenstein. Pushed over. They say that went into the net on the attack. 14-7 on the Station on Main scoreboard. As that play happened right in front of the stand judge. It'll be the lefty Dotson to serve. Junior lets it go too far out of bounds across that back line. 15-7 on the Station on Main scoreboard. So Wallenstein's going to check out. Pugmire's going to check in. Smith will serve. Smith serve received by Curtis. An attack from Spalding at the 10-foot line is going to bounce off of Violet Taylor's arm. It hit Smith in the back as Violet was trying to dig that out. Tough break for the Rebels there. 15-8 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Another serve coming from Curtis. Serve over, received by Smith. Rebels set up Pugmire on the outside. She attacks, finds the near sideline as that left-handed attack from that outside spot gives the defense a different look, as that's now 7 kills for Haiti Pugmire. One of 3 players with 7+, one of 4 players with 5. As that serve received by the Tigers, they push it over. Rebels look to set up their attack. They go to Scott, middle of the floor, and she lets it go. And that's going to find the hardwood as Scott picks up her 9th kill of the contest. When you move Haiti to the outside, you put Hannah at the inside. That also allows Hannah a little bit more room to operate as she was able to find the middle of the hardwood there. Serve over from Ellsworth, received by Florence. They set up on the near side. That's blocked by Wilson, as they're going to call into the net against the Tigers. 18-8 on the Station on Main scoreboard, as we're going to get another timeout as you're watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KDQ.
Welcome to the town of Randolph, located in northern Utah. The first group of settlers came from St. Charles, Idaho in March of 1870. We are a town of great extremes, from 90 degrees in the summer to minus 40 degrees in the winter, and we hold the record for the coldest temperature ever recorded in Utah at minus 50 degrees. Randolph is a small, friendly community that strives to preserve our rural heritage and small town feel. Enjoy the feeling each time you visit Randolph. Go Rebels!
Welcome back to the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth in the middle of the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team, online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KDQ. Ellsworth has the ball in her hand, ready to serve. 18-8 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Man, outside of that third set, these set scores for the Rebels have been what they wanted. That third set unfortunately got away from them. Serve over, received by the Tigers. They attack from the left wing. That is out of bounds across the back line as they went to Spalding. Looking for another deflection on the Rebels. Did not get it. Seems like anytime the ball goes out of bounds across the back line, the Tigers are asking for it. I mean, why not? You never know. Received by the Tigers. They'll attack to the Rebel side for Taylor. Set up Pugmire on the opposite side. She's going to attack. That's going to fall in for another kill for Haiti, as the Rebels have kind of switched some things up here. Pugmire attacking from the outside spot with Violet Taylor in the back row. Mixing it up a bit as Scott's now playing a little bit more middle than she had before, as Ellsworth's serve received by the Tigers. It's going to stay on the Tigers' side as they're unable to return it. 21-8 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Rebels on top, looking to salt this one away. Ellsworth will serve, ball over, received by the Tigers. They set up middle of the floor to Fisher. She pushes over the middle of the back for Taylor. Rebels set up Scott, the middle blocker spot. That's going to be kept alive as Cedillo did a good job keeping that ball in the air. As they set up Scott again, she tips it over. That's going to be a lift against the Rebels, though. Credit that point to Alicia Cedillo, the sophomore, has Scott unloaded that ball right at her. She's able to get her hands out in front of her, keep it alive. 21-9 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Serve coming from the Tigers. As that's played over by Ambrose. Rebels will set up middle of the floor to Scott as she tips it high in the air. Deflected, kept alive for the moment. Back to the Rebels side for Taylor. Rebels will set up middle of the floor to Scott as she attacks. That's off of Cedillo, out of bounds. 22-9 on the Station on Main scoreboard as Scott picks up another kill from her middle blocker spot. You got to remember, she played that a lot last year, so it's probably not that big of a change. For Scott going back to the middle, as her serve is going to be an ace for Hannah Scott after the kill. 23-9 on the Station on Main scoreboard. As this fourth set, you know, probably don't want to go to the fourth set, but it gave the Rebels a chance to switch some things up and try some things as Scott's serve deflected off the tape, kept alive for the moment. Unable to return it, the Tigers are going to watch that one fall in off of the net. as that serve from Scott hit the tape, deflected by a front row player to the back row. The back row player had to reverse course, try to keep it alive, unable to do so, as Scott will serve. 24-9 on the Station on Main scoreboard. That serve goes into the net, 24-10. Scott with a little bit of a chuckle on the way off. Her and Janie Walentine are stomping their feet on the sidelines as Scott gets to the bench. Serve over, received by the Rebels. They go Taylor on the left wing, and that's going to do it for us here in set number 4 and in the match as Violet Taylor ends it with her 16th kill of the contest. As you're watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KADQ. When we come back, we will have the Independent Software Solutions postgame show for you on we'll have the Independent Software Solutions postgame show for you as you're watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KADQ.
When you're experiencing pain from an injury or pain for an unknown reason, it can negatively impact how you function every day. It's good to know that individually supervised physical therapy is available at Evanston Regional Hospital. From athletes to seniors, we assist patients with personalized treatment plans. We offer a broad range of therapies including cardiac rehab, post-surgical rehab, concussion recovery, and sports rehab. Ask your family doctor if physical therapy is right for you or call one of our therapy departments directly. Evanston Regional Hospital, helping you get your life back.
Quality is the one thing that you can always count on when you do business with Ellingford Brothers in Evanston. You always get high-quality products and friendly, knowledgeable service at Ellingford's. Stop in today, 199 County Road, Evanston.
At the Evanston Walmart, you'll find all the tools students need to succeed. Our team is committed to providing quality products and an excellent shopping experience. Stop in today, 125 North 2nd Street, Evanston. Walmart. Save money, live better.
The town of Garden City is home to beautiful Bear Lake, where families play together. We welcome you to Garden City and invite you to visit bearlake.org for places to explore and information on upcoming events year-round. The town of Garden City welcomes you as we cheer on the Rich Rebels.
When pizza is calling your name, order a Summit Pizza. With homemade dough and all fresh ingredients, every pizza is a culinary masterpiece. Owners Thad and Melissa Willis are rich high school alumni. They continue the Rebel tradition of excellence and service. Feed your taste buds, feel the happiness with a fresh homemade pizza from Summit Pizza. Don't forget the Doodles, a Summit Pizza original creation. Summit Pizza, 70 West Logan Road, Garden City.
You hear that? That's the sound your new water makes just before it gets to your bottle. You see, at Little Spring Water, they don't add a thing. It's the purest, cleanest, and healthiest water you could possibly drink. It's nature in a bottle. Little Spring Water is a family-owned and operated bottled water company right here in Utah. Nestled in a beautiful canyon in Bear Lake, this spring has been in the family for 5 generations, and now it can be in yours as well. It's high-quality premium drinking water packaged in a durable, recyclable bottle that won't spill or crack on you and can be refilled multiple times. No chemicals, no additives, just pure, clean, healthy water. And because Little Spring Water is local, you can get it at a fraction of the cost. Look for Little Spring Water at a grocery store near you. If you don't see it, ask your grocer for it by name. Little Spring Water. It's nature in a bottle.
Dealing with computer problems can be frustrating and make you wish for your own personal IT guy. Now, everyone can afford an IT guy. Independent Software Solutions has served customers in Wyoming and Utah for over 20 years. We develop software, handle system and network administration, repair personal and business computers, and sell accessories. Independent Software Solutions is your one-stop computer business solution. Call today, 307-789-1978. Let Independent Software Solutions be your IT guy.
Great signage is an important component to any successful business. It lets your customers know they have arrived at your doors, and it's a constant advertisement of who you are. When you install LED signage, you're taking it one step further. The ability to create color messages that move is an attention grabber. Plus, you can change the message whenever you would like. Make your business stand out with an LED sign from Rocky Mountain Sign, providing service, installation, and maintenance on all signage. Rocky Mountain Sign, licensed in Wyoming and Utah. Call today for a quote, 307-789-5202.
We're off to the rodeo. My Local Rodeo is proud to bring you live streaming coverage of high school rodeo from Utah and Wyoming, as well as the Intermountain Icebreaker of the National High School Rodeo Association's Western Legacy Series in 2023 and 2024. If you're interested in becoming a broadcast sponsor and advertising your business to the most loyal group of viewers in the country, you won't find a better opportunity. Call us today to claim your spot, 307-789-8116. That's 307-789-8116. We're off to the rodeo.
When participating in sports, there's always a lot to talk about performing at the top of your game. I'd like to expand on that and ask, how about performing at the top of your game in every part of your life? This is Dr. Todd Hoover with Hoover Chiropractic. I offer solutions to help improve all aspects of your game called life. Pain management, migraines, allergies, emotional release, nutritional supplements based on blood tests, and improved athletic performance. To help you perform at the top of your game every day, call today to schedule an appointment in Evanston or in Kemmer. Hoover Chiropractic, 307-789-0043.
Fast, fresh, delicious. 3 words that describe your experience every time you enjoy a delicious meal with Jimmy John's. Utilizing the freshest ingredients, home-baked bread, and professional sandwich building skills, the team at Jimmy John's always delivers a mouth-watering sandwich to satisfy any hunger. Jimmy John's. Freaky fast, freaky fresh. Visit any of our locations today in Evanston, Rock Springs, Sheridan, and Gillette.
Welcome back to the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth, as it is time for your Jimmy John's Freaky Fast recap on the Independent Software Solutions postgame show as the Rebels take care of the Tigers. 3-1 as they'll move on to play the Monticello Buckaroos, as that game will be scheduled for 1:30. As floor number 3 is a little bit behind where the game would be played, where the Rebels were playing. Rebels win that one 3-1 as they win set 1, 25-13, set 2, 25-17. They lose set 3, 25-23, and the Rebels pick up their third set victory, 25-10 in set number 4. As when we come back, we'll have some post-match highlights for you, as that was your Jimmy John's Freaky Fast recap, 113 Front Street in Evanston, where fast meets fresh every single day. Get your sub today. When we come back, we'll have your post-match highlights brought to you by the town of Woodruff as you're watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KADQ as the Rebels advance to the quarterfinals.
Established in 1872, Woodruff, Utah has a long history of good neighbors helping each other succeed. Woodruff was built with hard work, integrity, and a sense of community that can be felt every time you visit. We have always celebrated all students in academics and extracurricular activities, and we cheer on our rich Rebels. Woodruff, Utah, a great place to live.
Welcome back to the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth, as it's time for the town of Woodruff post-match highlights for you on your Independent Software Solutions post-game show. One thing that really stands out about this match is the Rebels had quite a few kills. 4 players with 4 players with 5 or more kills, 3 players with 7. And, they got a chance in that 4th set. They did some things a little bit differently. They moved Hannah Scott to the middle blocker spot and moved Pugmire to the outside when Taylor was in the back row. And, just different things like that teams might not be prepared for, as that's a new look that I don't think the Rebels have shown very many teams all year, as it'll be interesting to see how that storyline progresses in the second game of the day, as the Rebels will take on the Buckaroos in the quarterfinal matchup, as that will be 3 versus 6. But it's time for some stats, as the Rebels, unofficially of course, are led by Violet Taylor with 16 kills. Hannah Scott chips in with 10, Haley Pugmire with 8, Janie Wallentyne with 5, Ava Ellsworth with a kill as well. Fortunately, we couldn't count all of the blocks, but I do know that Janie Wallentyne had at least 3, as we try to keep track of everything, but with just me up here in the doing stats while the game is going on, especially with it being a radio-only broadcast, sometimes some stats don't always get recorded, so we apologize for that. Once again, these stats are unofficial, but it kind of gives you an idea. That first set, the front line was really good for the Rebels, as it seemed like they were putting everything back to the Milford side. Service, Rebels had a couple of aces today, by my count 6, as their serve and serve-receive defense will be vital going forward as the competition gets a little tougher as we move along in the tournament. When we come back, we'll have today's precision play of the game as well as the player of the game, as you're watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KDQ.
Precision, the quality, condition, or fact of being exact and accurate.
Precision is important. Scoring the next point, making the perfect shot, getting the best score. And when you think of your dentist, you want precision to be the first word that comes to mind. That's why patients are so pleased with Dr. McKay Frankum. He provides precision family dentistry at reasonable prices to every patient. Dr. McKay Frankum, call today for an appointment.
Call Dr. McKay Frankum at 789-8910.
Welcome back to the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth in the middle of the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as it is time for your precision play of the game, and we're going to give it to Violet Taylor with the kill to end it as she attacks from the left wing off that front line out of bounds, as that sends the Rebels to the quarterfinals. When we come back, we'll have your player of the game as you're watching the 2023 Rich Rebels varsity volleyball team online at mylocalradio.com, as well as listening in on 98.3 KDQ.
Whether you're having a great day or not, food always makes it better. Delicious, fresh-cooked favorites like a juicy cheeseburger, a thick raspberry shake, onion rings, fries, or a River Bridge soda. A grilled chicken wrap always hits the spot. And don't forget twisted ice cream cones. They never disappoint. Add the always friendly and helpful staff at the Crawford Trough, and you've got the perfect recipe for a perfect meal. Something tasty from the Crawford Trough always makes your day better. Stop in today. The Crawford Trough, Randolph.
Dealing with computer problems can be frustrating and make you wish for your own personal IT guy. Now, everyone can afford an IT guy. Independent Software Solutions has served customers in Wyoming and Utah for over 20 years. We develop software, handle system and network administration, repair personal and business computers, and sell accessories. Independent Software Solutions is your one-stop computer business solution. Call today, 307-789-1978. Let Independent Software Solutions be your IT guy.
Welcome back to the Les Schwab Plains Tires broadcast booth, as it is time for your Crawford Trough player of the game on the Independent Software Solutions postgame show. And for that, we're going to give it to Violet Taylor, 16 kills and 1 ace. Helped the Rebels propel themselves into the quarterfinals, as we have a calendar update for you.
We're proceeding.
That the next game will be played on court number 3 at about 1:30. Of course, due to tournament play, it might be a little earlier, might be a little bit later, but Rebels will be playing the Buckaroos at about 1:30 with a chance to go to the semifinals. But until next time, go Rebels.
The proceeding has been a wholly owned production of MyLocalRadio.com and Cook Brothers Broadcasting, LLC. No portion of which may be used or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Cook Brothers Broadcasting, LLC. Thank you for joining us for this sports presentation on MyLocalRadio.com.